The students at Parkview High School in Little Rock are not only committed to their Quiz Bowl team, they are also committed to giving back to the community. In cooperation with their human geography class, they decided to host the Quiz Bowl tournament to raise money for a very good cause.
A couple years ago with my AP Human Geography class, we decided that we wanted to do something with a global, institution and or organization, I guess. And we ultimately said, hey, Heifer, it's an Arkansas, company, and we would be doing something with an international organization.
I think we were all kind of on the same consensus that we wanted to do something for the world, since we study the world and like how humans interact on the world. So we wanted to think of a way to make it more interactive towards us and more meaningful for us. So we decided to do we wanted to find an organization that we all cared about and could put money towards. So we thought that Heifer was the best fit for that.
And I have about 3 of my students in the Quiz Bowl team, and I said, why don't we just do a Quiz Bowl tournament? Because a few years ago, we had another tournament for Arkansas Quiz Bowl Gives Back for the Darfur situation. I said, why don't we do that? We can raise some money and help Heifer at the same time.
And the most important part, and I may break up here, you guys, but the sense of pride that they have, and that someone just didn't give them a handout and say, here, and not expect anything out of them. They're taking care of themselves. They're learning to build a sustainable life and count on themselves.
I'm learning a lot as I go about what Heifer really does. They don't just send the animals to the place and say, good luck, I hope you have something to eat for the next year. They research, and they have volunteers all over, and they really teach the people about, it's that whole teaching them how to fish.
Fundraising is very important to Heifer International. It is a nonprofit, so fundraising is very important for the work of Heifer to continue. And it is with those funds that we help families all across the world. And it's not just a handout for a day, it is for a lifetime. It is sustainable income and way of life.
So far, we have about $1,000 raised for Heifer. It's combined with the can recycling and the can selling of soda, which added to about $250. And $750 is coming from the very generous Quiz Bowl teams that are coming to play at our school.
So yeah, they were all in at that moment in time. When I told them, you have a potential of really trying to reach 1,000, and they were able to accomplish that.
$1,000 will do a lot for a lot of families. For instance, a heifer cow is $150, I believe. A goat is $120. So they will decide how much of their money they want to spend.
We actually are deciding right now which animals we'd like to buy and where we'd like them to go. It feels wonderful. You hear all the time on the news how, basically screwed up the society is and what we should be doing to help other people, and how fortunate we are. And so just knowing that you're doing a little something when we're only 17 and 18 years old, it just makes me feel good.
Yeah, I think anytime the kids get hyped about doing something positive for somebody else, when they focus on somebody else, they're more likely to have a much more positive outlook. And you can tell they've all been a little bit giddy, they've been a little bit happy, and really, in all honesty, they seem much more mature to me. But what I think is awesome is these are smart kids. They're going to be the leaders of the country. They need to know that they have to give some of that energy back to the world.
Anytime you give of your time or of yourself in any way, there's joy in your heart. And that's the best gift that you can give to yourself.
You're giving food and money and work and everything to other people around the world. So just go online or go see Heifer downtown, and just if we know that we've helped get people more involved, then that's
done our job.
Before we begin our fourth match for today, to determine the winner of the 5A championship, we'd like to honor our third and fourth place finalists. This year's third place finalist, Greene County Tech, and fourth, Arkadelphia. Now we're ready to introduce the teams for our 5A conference championship match between Watson Chapel and Huntsville. First, from Watson Chapel, we have Chris Adams, a senior. Their captain is Rhett Hunt, a junior. Curtis Burnley. And Curtis is a senior. We have Andrew Fleming, a sophomore. Their alternates are Jordan Billingsley, a junior. Elizabeth White, a senior. Joshua Knight, a junior. Bailey Garner, a sophomore. Jimmy Beggs, a sophomore. Tony Elkins, a junior. Tanner Hoyt, a junior. Eric Williams, a sophomore. Their coaches are Renette Metcalf and Brian Rogers. Let's hear it for Watson Chapel. And now to Huntsville. First we have Claire Richardson, a junior. Their captain is Hannah Shama, a senior. Clint Ussery, a senior. Saxon Whitehead, a junior. Their alternates are William Embry, a senior. Brandon Roden, a senior. Reed Harriman, a senior. Nicholas Ledbetter, a senior. Courtney Dick, a senior. Brittany Hatfield, a senior. Austin Boatwright, a sophomore. And Alex Allred, a sophomore. And their coaches are Bill Epperson and Tyler Twerves. Let's hear it for Huntsville. Those are the 5A finalists. I want to wish both teams the best of luck. And now, Steve, take it away.
Thank you, Evangeline. What a great morning we've had so far. We've had 3 schools already crowned champions that have never been our state Quiz Bowl champions before, but I don't think we have that option here with these 2 groups because they're old hands at this and have been state champions before for both schools. So this is going to be one exciting match here for the 5A state Quiz Bowl championships. Good luck to both teams, Huntsville and Watson Chapel. All right, if you've got your hands on your buzzers, we're going to start with our first toss-up question, and here it is. What amendment to the United States Constitution protects against unreasonable searches? Curtis.
4.
Yes. Question 2. This Canadian rocker has a self-proclaimed love of mirror balls and headlined the 3-year summer music tour celebrating women in music called Saxon.
Sarah McLachlan.
Yes. Question number 3. What word describes both an individual with multiple genetically different cell lines and a picture composed from Hannah?
Karyotype.
No. Bits of colored tile. Chris?
Mosaic.
Yes. Our fourth question is going to be math computation. So if you'll get your pencils out, we'll put 20 seconds on the clock, and here is the math. Solve the following equation for x. 5 to the 2x power equals 1 over 25. Clint.
X equals -1.
Clint, you're right, and very fast too. I barely had time to start the timer. All right, question number 5. In which novel do over 500 characters appear, including Pierre Bezukhov and Natasha Rostova, an account of... Chris?
War and Peace.
War and Peace is correct. An account of Napoleon's invasion by Russia. All right, question number 6. What term do economists use for a time period usually lasting at least 2 quarters? Andrew.
A recession.
Andrew, you're right. Nice job of getting it early. Question number 7. What calculus term's formal definition involves the use of the Greek letters? Chris.
Limit.
Yes. Judges, for the next toss-up, we're going to throw that one out. It was a repeat, and we're going to number 7 in the extras that we have. And it states this. How does the gerund phrase function in the following sentence? Cindy is enjoying her new job. Curtis.
Direct object.
No. Acting on a soap opera. Claire.
A positive?
Yes. Nice. All right, question number 9. Give the chemical formula for ammonium acetate. Chris.
NH4H3C2O2.
No. Huntsville. Hannah.
NH4C2H3O2.
That's what I have. Nice. All right, question 10. A curriculum that draws from 2 or more subject areas and focuses on a theme or concept rather than a singular subject is called what? An example is junior high science courses that include life, earth, and physical sciences. Rhett?
General.
No. Huntsville? No, the answer is integrated. Integrated. All right, question number 11 for both teams. What Robert Frost poem describes the author's appreciation of a certain type of trees that appear to have been bent by boys? Rhett?
Birches.
That's right. Boys swinging on them. Question number 12. Which U.S. state surrounds Saginaw Bay? Clint?
Michigan.
Yes. Question 13. What is the most common mineral crystallized inside a geode? Rhett?
Quartz.
You're right. And that leads us to a math computation question, so we'll put 20 seconds on our timer and see if you can solve this question in that time. Solve in simplest terms the quantity x squared minus 7x plus 12 divided by the quantity x squared plus 3x minus 18. All right, Curtis.
X minus 4 over x plus 6.
You're right.
Well done.
Question number 15 is next. What ballet pose is represented as the position of the body supported on one leg, while the other leg extended behind the body with the knee straight? Rhett?
Second.
No. Hannah?
Pirouette.
No, it's an arabesque. Arabesque. Question number 16. The name's the same, a figure of speech involving conversation directed at a non-living thing. Curtis?
Apostrophe.
Curtis, you're right. Question number 17. The total dissociation of atoms, let me repeat, the total dissociation of atoms and a high level of ionization characterize what extremely hot state of matter? Clint?
Plasma.
Yes. Question number 18. The World Series of 2010 featured 2 teams that were playing for their first title since moving to their new locations. The eventual winner had won the World Series 4 previous times in another city. Name them. Andrew.
The San Francisco Giants.
You're right.
Good job.
Question number 19 is another math computation. So we'll put 20 seconds on the clock, and you can answer this math. Multiply the tangent of 135 degrees times the tangent of 315 degrees. Curtis?
Square root 3 over 3.
No. Need to clear? Huntsville? Claire?
Square root of 2 over 2.
I have the answer simply being 1.
Yeah,
1.
it is.
All right, question number 20. In what year did the following events occur? Louis Brandeis became the first Jewish Supreme Court justice. The National Park Service was established, and Woodrow Wilson was reelected as president. Chris?
1960.
You're right, Chris, and that was the last question of round 1. We'll check for challenges. No challenges? All right, so at the end of round 1, our score is Watson Chapel 110 and Huntsville 60. All right, do we need to make any substitutions to our teams at this time? Not for Watson and not for Huntsville. All right, then we'll just go quickly now into the second quarter. This, of course, is our toss-up round with a chance to earn bonus questions for your team that you may confer on. So good luck to both teams. Rhett, captain here for Watson Chapel, and Hannah for Huntsville. All right, good luck with this first toss-up question. Here it is.
May I have a timeout, please?
You sure may.
Go ahead and take your jacket off, sweetheart.
Teams are allowed a 30-second timeout, but I don't think that will take 30 seconds, will it? All right. No, that's all right. Get comfortable, that's what I say. All right, here's the first question for both teams. The first movement of Pomp and Circumstance is traditionally played, Hannah.
Elgar.
Yes.
Okay.
And the bonus that you've won for your team, Hannah, is called Greek prefixes in anatomy, okay? It says to identify the part of the body that the following Greek prefixes refer to. The first one is hepato.
Oh, that's liver.
Liver.
Yes. Cephalo.
Head.
Head.
Yes. Rhino.
Nose.
Nose.
Yes. And pneumo.
Lungs.
Lungs.
Absolutely right, for a total of 30 points for Huntsville. Good job on that toss-up and bonus question. All right, both teams' hands on the buzzers. Here's another toss-up for you. What was the name of the government in France led by Henri Pétain? Clint.
Vichy.
You're right. And Clint, you've earned your team a bonus in U.S. historical years. It states that from the given dates and events, give the significant year in U.S. history. Ready? Number 1, Dr. Carl Weiss Jr. guns down Louisiana Huey Long. Alcoholics Anonymous is formed in New York City. The Detroit Lions win the NFL championship over the New York Giants 26-7.
Sure. 1934.
No. You're one off. Question number 2. Mother Frances Cabrini became the first American to be canonized. Philippine independence is proclaimed by President Harry Truman. The McMahon Act creates the Atomic Energy Commission.
1947.
No. One off. Question number 3. The 50-star U.S. flag becomes official. Sit-ins by Southern blacks were encouraged by the National Council of the Protestant Episcopal Church. The first televised presidential debates are broadcast.
Okay, so that would be with Kennedy, so 1960? 1960.
You're right on the money. Question number 4. The first talking motion picture, The Jazz Singer, is released. The first successful demonstration of the television is held in New York City, and Charles Lindbergh's solo transatlantic flight takes place.
1920 what?
Answer, Hannah?
1925.
1927 would have been the correct answer. Those are tough questions. The first one was 1935. And the second, 1946. About 15 points out of the deal for your team, so good job. We have a very close game here, 5 points separating Huntsville and Watson Chapel. Let's go to this toss-up question for both teams. What is a statistical technique that predicts the equation that best fits the data? Chris.
Regression?
Chris, you're right.
Good job.
And you've earned a bonus for your team in poetry forms. Identify the following poems by their types. Beowulf.
Epic.
Epic.
Yes. Sir Patrick Spins.
Limerick, maybe?
Limerick.
No. Death Be Not Proud.
It's a sonnet. Sonnet. Sonnet.
Yes. My Last Duchess.
Oh. Tersa Rainbow.
Rainbow.
Ode.
Ode.
No, that one is a dramatic monologue, and the Sir Patrick Spins was a ballad. But 2 out of the 4 for a total of 20 points for Watson Chapel. Congratulations. All right, our next toss-up for a chance at that last bonus is this. This chemical element is represented by a symbol not associated with its current name. Clint.
Tungsten.
Clint, I don't know how you knew it, but you did. It is tungsten. All right. Question number 4 in the bonus, Hannah. And it is a base number system conversion. It is going to be computation, so I'll put 20 seconds on the clock for each one of these. Hannah, convert the following numbers from one base to another. Here's number 1. 100 base 10 to base 4.
it's 1210.
1210.
That's right. All right, we'll clear the clock and put 20 more seconds on for this. To be in hexadecimal to base 10.
43.
You're right. Question number 3. 101010 in binary to decimal.
No answer.
No. And the next, let me clear here so we can give you your 20 seconds. All right. 23 base 5 to decimal.
No answer.
Okay. All right. So here at the end of the match, we see some more of that strategy going on, don't we? You got the first 2 right for a total of 20 points for your team, and you've positioned yourself 5 points behind Watson Chapel going into the 3rd round. Do we have any challenges before we finish this round? All right. Well, congratulations to both teams. That was a great round, and this is a great game here so far. Now, with the Huntsville being 5 points behind, they're going to get to pick first from our categories. And here they are if you want to write them down. This started it. Identify each of the following people, places, or events related to famous invasions. Number 2, world religions. Identify the religion that applies to each of the following descriptions. And the final one is called vocabulary. X marks the spot. Name these words that all begin with EX. You have 60 seconds to decide.
Well, Bill, Steve was right. That was a very good game.
Yes, yes it is. And this one is being operated on the same premise as the other one. You notice that they decided not to answer those last 2, and she was just giving answers. They knew the answers to those. You knew that.
Strategy.
But that's because they want that 60-second round.
Okay.
They want that 3 choice. We're seeing this over and over again. Our viewers are used to this now.
Strategy. Well, let's talk about open house, Bill.
Yesterday was open house. AETN doesn't just put on the live program. What they do is they bring the schools in the day before and kind of walk them through so that they know what it feels like. And you know, it's different here. You're usually at schools or you're at colleges competing, and then when you come here, this studio, the atmosphere is different. So it does a lot of good. They feed them, you know, they really go out of their way to make them feel welcome. And a lot of the teams, because of the distance they travel, they come in and spend the night here in Conway, and then they're relaxed and ready to go the next morning.
Well, that's a great job on AETN's behalf. I think we're ready to go back to the match.
All right, welcome back here to the 3rd round in what's become a very exciting 5A state championship game. With Huntsville 5 points behind Watson Chapel, they get to pick first on the 60-second lightning round category, and they chose vocabulary. X marks the spot, and Watson Chapel has chosen world religions. All right, so we're going to go first with Hannah and Huntsville. Hannah, when you're giving an answer to me, look at me and speak very clearly and loudly, please.
Yes, sir.
And be ready over here, Red, for any bounce backs that they might give you on these. All right, are you ready? All right, it says X marks the spot. Name these words that all begin with EX. To put oneself into action or tiring effort.
Exhaust.
Exhaust.
No. To clear from accusation or blame.
Exonerate.
Exonerate.
Yes, a usually brief pleasure trip.
Expedition.
Expedition.
No. To carry out fully, put completely into effect.
Execute.
Execute.
Yes, an explanation or critical interpretation of a text.
Pass.
Deserving invitation because of excellence.
Pass.
A beginning or introduction, usually to a discourse or composition.
Exposition.
No. To come off in thin layers or scales.
Exfoliate.
Yes. To incite by argument or advice, urge strongly.
Exaberate.
Yeah, sure.
Exaberate.
No. Producing, being, or relating to a secretion that is released outside its source.
Exocrine.
Exocrine.
Yes. And right at the buzzer, too. All right. Nicely done. I have judges that they got numbers 2, 4, 8, and 10. All right. So we're going to pass 6 over to you, Rhett. X marks the spot. Each of these words begins with EX. All right, to put oneself into action or tiring effort.
Exert.
Yes. A usually brief pleasure trip.
Excursion.
Yes. An explanation or critical interpretation of a text.
Exegesis.
Designate.
Exegesis.
Judges? Yes. All right. Normally the pronunciation is on exegesis, but that's fine. Deserving imitation because of excellence.
Exalted.
Exalted.
No. A beginning or introduction, especially to a discourse or composition.
Exposition. Did they say that?
Oh, wait. Yeah, they did say that.
Answer, please.
Exposition.
No. And finally, to incite by argument or advice, to urge strongly.
I don't know.
Answer?
Exposition.
That answer is exhort.
Oh.
Exhort. We also missed number 6. Deserving imitation because of excellence is exemplary. And a beginning or introduction, especially to a discourse or composition, is exordium. Exordium. All right, so that takes us out of the first half of the round. Huntsville, Hannah, you be ready over here with any bounce backs that you might get. And Watson Chapel, Red, when you give an answer, please look right at me and speak loudly. We're going to go world religions. It says to identify the religion that applies to each of these descriptions. Worships nature gods called kami.
Shinto.
Shinto.
Yes. Belief in the Four Noble Truths.
Buddhism.
Buddhism.
Yes. Muhammad is God's prophet.
Islam.
Yes. Recognizes Losu as its founder.
Taoism.
What?
Taoism.
Taoism.
Yes. Accepts Haile Selassie as God.
Rastafari.
Rastafarianism.
Yes. Traditionally divides society into 4 classes.
Hinduism.
Hinduism.
Yes. The Analects are among its ancient texts.
Confucianism.
Yes. Rosh Hashanah is its new year.
Judaism.
Yes. People are immortal spiritual beings called Thetans.
Scientology.
Scientology.
Yes. Follows the teachings of the 10 gurus.
Sikh.
Sikhism.
Absolutely
Good job.
right. Well, the reason that our crowd is so excited is because when a team runs a category and gets all 10 correct, they get a bonus of 20 points. So congratulations to Watson Chapel for that great round. We have a challenge on this side. All right, so Huntsville has a challenge for us. And so we'll take a brief pause while we get the challenge underway.
Okay, Bill, you said we could possibly see a team run the 60-second round, and we saw it.
And we have it at the moment. There's a challenge on the floor, and this is a huge challenge.
Okay.
Because if Huntsville wins the challenge, it means they didn't run it, and it will be a 30-point turnaround.
Oh, no.
Because you get 20 points if you run that thing, and that was impressive. What this is going to be probably is pronunciation.
Okay.
And the judges will have to consider what did they hear. And a lot of times judges are writing down exactly what they hear. I mean, there's 4 judges at that table. There's several of them that are writing things down so they can tell. It's going to be a toss-up as to whether this is going to be won or not. But it's a biggie because you're talking about 30 points here.
Okay, it's a biggie, and we're talking about those points. So what should the team members be doing right now?
Once again, I'm telling you, team members don't get involved in challenges. Okay. If you're, and both of these are very well coached teams. Both of these come from very strong programs. They're going to be telling them, just chill out. This is my fight, you know, not yours. You sit there and relax. Just relax. See what we see on you can see on the screen right now. The judges are really having to consider this closely because this is phenomenal. And I'm going to tell you, this was a very hard 60-second round. That is not just easy knowledge that you're going to go out there and know it.
Yes,
you got to have studied that.
How much pressure, Bill, is on those judges during all of the matches?
Well, there's a certain amount of pressure, but when they make the call, it's like anything else in competition. You're going to use your best judgment, and we don't just go out there and pick people off the streets for judges. These are professionals. They're professional educators. They know this knowledge. They're going to look at the material that's presented to them, and can they make a mistake? Absolutely, they're human. But honestly, I can never tell you that I've ever seen judges make mistakes. But yes, there's a little bit of pressure in there.
Okay, and so what advice do you give to the teams now going back into the round?
Well, when they go back into it, this round is over. This 62nd round is going to be ultimately over. So what they're going to look at now is I've got 200 points sitting out there, and either one of these teams can pull this back and pull it out. It's pretty remarkable.
Now, you know, we are in a wonderful facility, Bill, and you know, it takes a lot to pull something together like this. What do you have to say to the volunteers?
Oh, goodness. There's an enormous number of volunteers that are here. All of the folks that are attached to AGQBA, the Arkansas Governors Quiz Bowl Association, all of those are volunteers. AETN brings in a host of volunteers. You'll see people running around here with crew marked on their shirts. It's very well organized. It's kind of like a well-oiled machine. You know where to go, what to do. They'll have things laid out for these kids to drink on or snack on. They don't want to eat too heavily, even though we're fixing to go eat in just a few minutes. But it's very well organized and very much appreciated by all of the quiz bowlers that show up here at AETN.
And we were talking briefly about the open house. Does that help settle the nerves of the teams before competition?
It does, especially for the teams that are just now showing up, because if they've never been here, they don't know what to expect. You know, you've driven by the building maybe, but some of these teams that showed up here, they may have been to Conway to shop, but you don't come to AETN to shop. So what they do is when they get here, it's kind of an eye-opener when they walk in. There's a lot of hallways. You can get lost. It's like a maze. Studio A is here, Studio B is there. You know, we want you to go here. And you don't want to have to think about that when you come here for the game. You know, this is the state finals. You want to be where I can concentrate on my game. And the other point that I mentioned was a lot of the teams that come back, you know, come from a long way off. They get reimbursed a little bit to be able to stay overnight. And it's really nice that they can do that right here in Conway.
Okay. Well, we're ready to go back to the match.
All right, here we are back in the studios of AETN and excited about this challenge because it's a big challenge. And that's why we have our 3 board members from the AGQBA to make these decisions. Let's go to our head judge, Barry Burns.
We have a problem here in that lightning round with pronunciation with the word Confucianism. The student, the captain Rhett, when he answered, said Confucianism, and he just mispronounced the word. Put an extra, it sounded like he put an extra syllable also. And we have ruled the challenge as valid. And what we're going to have to do is deduct not only the 10 points for the correct answer, but the 20 points for the bonus. And we will have you read extra toss-up number 11, or extra number 11 to Huntsville.
All right, thank you, Barry. Well, we did have a great challenge there and pronunciation. And here's what we're going to do, because we had to give the correct answer when we did the challenge. We're going to have to give an extra in world religions, however, back over here to Huntsville. So Hannah, here is the extra question, and it states this: asserts the oneness of God, religion, and humanity.
Unitarianism, maybe? Unitarianism?
Unitarianism.
Different. Declit.
Unitarianism?
No, I have the Baha'i faith. Baha'i faith. All right, so that was kind of a dramatic turnaround, however, because we lost some points over here from Watson Chapel. Watson Chapel still has the lead of 250 to 165 at the end of round 3. So we do have an exciting game going here. There are 200 points left to go in our game, and that's going to make this especially exciting. Are we going to make any changes to either one of the teams? Going to stay over here? What about Huntsville? Are you going to leave the way you are? All right. Okay, so you 4 and Huntsville, and you 4 and Watson Chapel, you are the ones who are going to make this final decision as we get these last 20 questions underway. So here's the first one, and it happens to be math computation. We'll put 20 seconds on our timer for you to answer this math. What are the values or signs of the first and second derivatives of a function at a local maximum? Clint.
The first derivative is 0, and the second derivative is positive.
No. Chris.
First is 0, second is negative.
That's right.
Good job.
That's right. All right. We'll clear that and be ready for our next toss-up question. Here it is. What stage of development in certain insects is characterized by the formation of a chrysalis or a chrysa?
Pupa?
Yes. Question 33. Allen Dulles, Gerald Ford, and the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court are three of the members of what group assigned to discuss the Kennedy assassination? Clint.
Warren Commission.
You're right. Question number 34. Characters in this play are beginning rehearsals for rules of the game as the play opens. Chris.
6 characters in search of an author?
No. When they are suddenly interrupted by several other characters. These characters reveal that they are in need of someone to finish the story in the play, 6 characters in search of an author. Name the writer of the play. Clint.
Smith.
No, it's Luigi Pirandello. All right, question number 35. He has a puzzling smile and is nude, which aroused controversy in its 15th century debut. Name this bronze statue. Curtis.
David.
Yes. Math computation for the next answer. Simplify the following. Square root of 45 plus the square root of 80. Clint.
7 squared to 5.
Yes. All right, good job, Clint. Our next question is number 37. What is the largest city of the Southeast Asian nation of Thailand? Chris.
Bangkok?
Yes. What country performer recorded the single She's Country in 2008? Clint.
Haldane.
Yes. Question number 39. Called A Magnificent Desolation by Buzz Aldrin, it is just a lower altitude plane rather than an actual body. Chris.
Sea of Tranquility?
Right. What Austrian-born physicist was awarded the 1945 Nobel Prize in Physics for the discovery of the exclusion principle? Chris.
Pauli?
Yes. Question 41. The acromion is the point where the scapula meets which bone, commonly known as the collarbone? Claire.
Clavicle.
Yes. Question 42. In January of 2011, residents in the southern half of their country voted to succeed. Andrew.
Sudan.
Yes. Glad you got it with my mispronunciation. Question number 43. Other than Shakespeare, she is the most popular author of all time. Name this crime fiction writer. Chris.
Christie.
Yes. Author of Murder on the Orient Express. All right, question number 44. Comprised of multiple transistors and the wires connecting them on single pieces of silicon, what devices became the basis? Chris.
Chips?
No. For third-generation computers used between transistors and microchips. I need to clear the board. Huntsville? They are called integrated circuits. Question number 45. This 18th century British statesman coined the phrase balance of power. Name this man who is usually considered Britain's first prime minister. Chris.
Walpole?
Yes. Question number 46. What is the name for the ratio of the force produced by a simple machine, such as a lever? Clint.
Efficiency.
No. Such as a lever or pulley compared to the force applied to it. Rhett.
Mechanical advantage?
Right. Question number 47. What is a group of polyhedrons called that all have faces? Chris.
The Platonic solids.
You're right. Question number 48. According to myth, who judged a music contest between Apollo and Pan and ruled in favor of Pan, inciting Apollo to curse him with donkey's ears? Chris.
Midas.
Yes. According to the nearest 10, what are the latitude and longitudes for the state of Arkansas? Curtis.
23.6 and 27.6.
No. Clint.
30, 150.
No, those aren't correct. It's 90 degrees. You'll want to remember this in case you're ever lost and need to find Arkansas. 90 degrees west longitude, 30 degrees north latitude. Question number 50. What adjective is used to indicate that information consists of both letters and Clint?
Alphanumeric.
You're right, Clint, and that was the last question in this round. Do we have any challenges? No challenges over here? If there are no challenges, then our official score is Watson Chapel 370 and Huntsville 215. Congratulations, Watson Chapel.
Well, Bill, in spite of the challenge and the deduction of points, Watson Chapel pulled it out.
You know, I'd almost think that the challenge, even though it went in the favor of the team that lost, it kind of inspired the other team. Boy, they came out gangbusters after that. But that challenge was a big challenge. Could have been as many as 40 points, because if Huntsville could have picked it up, they would have gotten 10 points. See, that question was burned, so it was thrown back to them. But nonetheless, 30 points, that's probably going to be the biggest challenge we see all day as far as points are concerned.
I'm just amazed by, even with the challenges, and especially the last one, that took quite a bit of time to work through that. The team still were able to play.
Oh yeah, yeah. And that challenge took a little bit because, like I said, that was on a pronunciation. So somebody had to confer with somebody else and say, what did you hear? What did you hear? And the thing that made the difference was there was a syllable left out of that.
Oh, okay.
So it made a big difference. And like I said, these are professionals. They've been in education for a long time. They know what they hear and what they see. So they watch very closely. They're a very good set of judges we've got up there.
All right, I think we're ready to go to the set for the awarding of the trophy and the check.
I'd like to congratulate the second place team, Huntsville.
And your second place check for $1,600. Congratulations.
I'd also like to congratulate the champions of the 5A class, Watson Chapel. Congratulations.
And Watson Chapel, a check for $3,200 to be shared among you. Great.
I'd also like to name the MVP, which would be Chris Adams from Watson Chapel. Here we go. Congratulations.
And Chris, here is your check for $250. Congratulations, man. It's been a good joy.
And now for the 5A all-tournament team members, Carolyn.
In addition to Chris Adams from Watson Chapel, we also have Clint Ussery from Huntsville, who just played now, Brendan Gamble from Mills, Weston White of Blytheville, Joey Humphreys of Arkadelphia, Andeshay Dadgar of Magnolia, Ben Cooter of Greene County Tech, Joseph Jackson of Vilonia, Alex Dwyer of Paragould, Hannah Shame of Huntsville, hope that's right, Hannah, close anyway, Parker Richardson of Harrison, Peyton Finch of Greene County Tech, Dylan Johnson of Whitehall, and Claire Richardson also of Huntsville. Congratulations, that was a long list of Huntsville teams.
Well, congratulations to everyone. We're going to take a break right now, but remember, we have 3 more matches this afternoon starting at 2 p.m. with the 3A, 6A, and 1A matches. I'm your hostess, Evangeline Park, and I hope you will join us this afternoon for our second round of matches. See you then.